Hello there, Bob Fleming here. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Dave Simpson Trio special.
Very special.
Very special. Very.
Where do I need to look on this then?
Basically here. Done not on the LCD.
I was looking at the LCD.
I know, I always tend to get dragged over to the LCD. Anyway!
Oh, camera over there.
Yes, so we're gonna
Shoot.
bang. So we're gonna talk to you about our album Free. So like some of the things that we did, it's free, is in the number 3. I can't say free because I'm dyslexic and basically stupid. So
Good name choice.
yeah, I know, well that's why I did it. Free. So yeah, we're going to talk to you about that and basically all the higgledy-piggledy moments that happened. The time when the drum kit set on fire. The time when the bass just flew out the window. The time when I left and quit and went to Escape Vegas.
Ibiza?
I've never been to Ibiza.
Yeah, you have. You're there every week.
I am. Raving it up in the year 2000.
When was the last time you did have a rave?
20 minutes ago. Anyway, so we're actually filming this on the year anniversary of us finishing the album. The album only took us that many days. I'm not going to say it anymore because I feel like an idiot. This many days to record, and initially it was an idea that I had was like we would like one day we would record like 6 songs. Day 2 we'd record 6 songs, so that'd be all the 12 that we had. And then on the 3rd day we would rushedly, it's not even a word.
Rushedly?
Rushedly.
Is that a word?
Fastly. We would fastly.
Swiftly.
We'd swiftly mix, master, and be done with it. But that didn't happen, did it?
No.
Is it going to be one-word answers?
Do you know what? I can't cope here because I actually watch your channel and it's weird watching you behind this side. You know, like it's like going onto the Friends set or something. You know what I mean? Like seeing them do it in person is so strange.
I've seen them do it.
Exactly.
Anyway, so we went into my friend Ian's studio, like to record, and it was how long was it until we actually kind of like realised, shall we just do them all? 5 minutes.
Didn't we get them all done within a couple of hours?
It was all I recorded, wasn't it? Like
yeah.
it was like
there was obviously the setup which took. Well, it didn't take that long.
Setup didn't take too long.
But it took up part of the day.
Yeah.
But then the actual recording bit just seemed to take. I want to say it was about 3 hours that we had been through.
We went through something.
Everything.
Yeah, because we didn't do any. We only did 2 or 3 songs twice, didn't we? Most of them were one take. And that was the thing. Is like we were just like Ian as well was like really like confident, wasn't he? He was like, no, you don't need to click. Just play.
Yeah.
Just do it. You can do it. Yeah. Ian had watched our Priory gig vlog, and he was like, you don't need a click track. You don't need to layer it. You don't need this and the other. All you need to do is set up and play together, and that's what we did. And it was literally one of those cases. One of those, after we did the first song, which was blues one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the Green Blues. I
Green.
think. Oh no, Will We Still Be the Same was the first.
Yeah.
One we did.
So we did the 2 blues ones first, and then we went into the others.
I was really unsure about not having a click, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, really? Because like as a drummer, you want your timing to be good, don't you?
Yeah.
But it turned out alright.
We did. We did use a click though, didn't we?
We did on one.
On that one, I think, wasn't
It
it?
was one
it
where
the
it was a
Green
really
Blues?
slow blues.
It was. Yeah, it was the Green Blues. But it was after that, wasn't it? It was like we realised we don't need it.
Yeah.
It was just like we knew we could do it. We knew we were able to like pull it off really easily. So it was just like, let's just do it. You know, let's just not mess about. And there was occasionally like we did like 2 takes of the old song, didn't we? But invariably it was like, just use that first take. It's best.
Mm.
There's no point using the second one because it's not as good. And there was that one time Ian stopped us to do something again. He said, you could do that tighter.
Yeah.
There was one song, I don't remember which one it is, where we did the whole thing, and Ian was like, it was good, but you can do it better,
Was
and
it
he
the
was
pheasant?
right. No, it wasn't the pheasant, because the pheasant nearly killed me. I think we only did the pheasant once.
I thought we did it twice.
Did we do it twice?
I think we might have done the pheasant twice because I remember.
Did we
I'm pretty sure I remember doing
Did
it
we
twice.
use the first take, though, of it?
Yeah,
Probably.
we did it once,
Mm.
and then because I remember because it's got your speaking at the start of it,
Oh, yeah, hasn't it?
and
Yeah.
we did it the second time.
It's
and
got
then
me
it didn't-
swearing as well.
Yeah, and then it didn't feel as good the second time. We listened to the first one, and we're like, oh,
Yeah, it was
we
better
should
on
have
the first
gone
one.
with that.
Yeah, yeah, because if you go to the link below to the album, the pheasant, you can hear me swear at the end of it because it's not an easy song to play, is it?
No.
I mean, God Almighty, and we start our set with that most of the time. So.
Yeah. So it's take one on the album, not take two.
Yes. Yeah, it's take.
I think the majority of them are take one.
I think they are, aren't they? I was literally about to say, I think they are mostly all take one. I can't think of any that we use take two of. Apart from that one that Ian stopped us, but I don't think he even recorded that. I think he might have stopped it where he realised, they can do this better. Ian was amazing though. He was full of confidence. He kept the mood really light as
Yeah,
well.
he
He's
did.
a genius, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
so good.
Genius.
And again, like literally at the end of the first day, I think we finished, didn't we, about 5 or 6? We had been there. I think we got there about 10, something like that, and we got set up and we were away for about.
We
half an
started later than we should have done. Can you remember what
hour. We
happened?
did. Oh, what happened?
The clutch went on my car.
Oh, it did it? Yeah.
On the way down there, I was really stressed. I was like, right, I've got to get to this recording. I'm all excited. And my clutch on my car kept going. I'm looking at the wrong thing, Dave. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Cheers, thank you. That's loads better.
Problem solved.
Yeah, we're looking up there now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the clutch went on my car. It was really, really horrific. I had to stop in traffic and I couldn't get it into gear. And I was there in the lay-by for like 10 minutes. I was ringing Dave. I was like, mate, I'm going to be late. I don't know what's happening. My car is not working. I don't know whether I'm going to have to get the AA or whatever. And then finally, I just went like that and it went into gear. And then it was fine. And then, like, a few months after that, it completely broke. I had to get a new clutch, so it's fine now. But yeah, that happened at the start, so it's stressful.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That could almost be perceived as well as a bad omen.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't do it, don't. But it was actually literally one of the best. It is the best experience I've ever had recording with a band
Oh,
ever.
definitely.
Yeah.
Like some of the bands I remember like doing a band, like recording with a band once where literally we'd start playing a song and every song we would start playing. We only had 8 of our own songs, so we started the first song. We got halfway through it and the singer goes, "Can we not do this one?" Okay. Second song, "Can we not do this one?" Got to like the 5th, 6th song. You're like, "Can we not do it?" We've only got 2 left. You do realise that, don't we? And we've only got the studio for like another like 3 hours. And we haven't done anything yet. We haven't even got a backing track done. And he was so convinced like he couldn't sing, but he could. He was just being a wet blanket about things. But it was really amusing. But yeah, it was so easy. Like just literally everything just went. And it was about 6 o'clock. Yeah, because I think we started. It must have been about dinner time we started.
Yeah, it would have been later than it should have been.
Yeah, because. We must have finished about 6 and we actually went back, we were all staying at mine and we went back to mine and we were like, we've just recorded all 12 songs, drums, bass, guitars and vocal, and we were like, what are we going to do tomorrow? And I was like, well I want to do some overdubs on guitar, and there was some things like we were tweaking here and there with the drums and the bass, weren't there? Just little bits, nothing major.
That was done really quickly though.
It was. Then when we went back next day and we did like some overdubs, I made my absolute cock up balls up bass 6 mistake in Overcome, but you film, there's only one bit of footage of us filming in the entire album and it's of me messing it up and it cuts off literally. I'm about to say a big word and I go off and it cuts off. It's brilliant. I love that bit.
Well, that's the only bit.
Yeah, that's the only bit of footage. But the thing is, it wouldn't have worked if we had set up like a camera to film it. We wouldn't have played as well. If we had thought about it, we wouldn't have played as well. We just got in there. Ian says, just play the songs. We did it, and that was it. And like I say, second day, we just did these overdubs, and it went really easily. And then when we went out to like Tavor, didn't we, and walked in that field.
Yeah.
And like it was gorgeous weather. We just went out walking in that field. And then we were having a right laugh at night as well, weren't we? Just like talking about music and stuff.
Yeah. We went to the beach as well.
Oh, we did go to a beach, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, because there's that photo. The album cover is us in the van sat at that beach because we went there straight after.
Straight after we recorded, didn't we? We went there to listen to it.
We did, yeah.
We had an amazing moment where all three of us are just sat in the van. The van. And we're all just sat there listening to it, and there was a rainbow, wasn't there?
There was.
Yeah.
It was just amazing, looking out to sea, listening to the thing that we'd just spent that time doing. It was incredible.
Yeah, because the third day it was basically a case of, you recorded your backing vocals, didn't you, on the third day?
Oh yeah, I did.
And that was it.
Yeah.
I was being a bit of a diva with the sounds.
I know. Literally, Ian was like, "Is there anything you want to change about the guitar sound, Dave?" I was like, "No." Queen, is there anything you want to change about the bass tone? No. John, is there anything you want to change about George? Yes, everything! Can we try this cymbal and this cymbal? There was that one, wasn't there, where you had like, what was it, like a ride cymbal with a China cymbal on top of it?
I wanted to get like, it was, what's the song called?
Are You Alright?
Yeah, Are You Alright?
Yeah, you're right.
I had a really specific sound in my mind that I wanted. And I'd been practicing and getting it with my cymbals, like a nice stack of cymbals that I'd done. And we recorded with an electric kit with Superior Drummer, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
It sounded so good. I was really nervous going into it.
Yeah.
You know, when I turned up and it was like in a Roland electric kit, I was like, oh.
Skeleton kit.
Am I going to be able to play this? And it was fine. It's so responsive and amazing. It was brilliant.
Oh, I remember as well, because it was in like a really tiny room. We were all crammed in like this. And I remember I was stood with my pedal board like against my feet. There was a sofa behind me which I couldn't sit on because there was stuff on it, and then a spinny chair here, so I played the whole album like this.
Yes. And then there was me on we were probably like literally how we're sat here is literally how close we were doing the album.
There's one dink sound on the record, I can't remember which song it's in, but you can hear a doom on the bass, and that's me hitting that spinny chair.
Amazing.
There's my stick clicks as well that came through your...
Yeah,
because we recorded live in the room. If I clicked my sticks, if I hit the sticks together while I was playing on the little electric kit, it came through the microphone.
But I really liked that.
Yeah.
I really liked the live feel of it, and again, Ian just captured it all perfectly. Like, he captured that moment perfectly. It's got all the energy, all the attitude and aggression and all that kind of thing. It's just got it all, and it's so mega. When you listen back to it, it's literally the proudest thing I've ever done musically. I'm so proud of it.
Yeah, I'm really proud of it as well.
I remember we were sat in the van listening to it, and it was just like, we've just made this.
Yeah.
And no, we just made this. We've made this in 3 days.
Yeah.
And the sounds Ian got as well was incredible, especially the drums. I was on about that cymbal, and I could just layer cymbals.
Yeah.
I got my free reign of whatever cymbals I want. So it's like, try this, try this, try this.
Isn't one of the kick drum sounds is actually from the levy?
It's the levy breaks.
And kick drums.
Yeah. See, if you find the song that the drum kit, the Levy Breaks drum kit is in, comment below. Tell us which song it is.
Which song is it?
Yeah, which song out of the 12 is it? Because it is really obvious. If you didn't know, no one's ever mentioned it until now. We've never mentioned it until now. But like literally, as soon as you know it, you hear it, and you're like, that's the Levy Breaks sound. Yeah.
They've got it perfect.
Yeah, it's mental. I just loved how frantic it felt as well. But the songs all felt like full of energy and frantic, but we were actually mega relaxed.
Yeah, it was really in control at the same time.
Yeah.
It was like controlled franticness.
Well, I think we'd played together enough by that point that it just we knew we could play together to a really good level, and it was just really flowing and easy.
Yeah.
But I can remember being tired. I was really concentrating and trying to get it to sound as good as it possibly could.
Yeah.
It was a bit of, I think it was. It was like proper hyper focus from everyone.
But then we had like the really fun part after where we were hanging out. We had a great time, didn't we?
No, it was amazing. I remember like going back to mine every night, and we were like watching like that video of Danny Carey playing drums on Numa. And like talking about music, and then like just watching like loads of music like DVDs and stuff like that, and talking about things, and just saying like how, and that's it. That's it all. It's so cool to be like in that situation. Mega. But it was absolutely amazing. And I say 3 days. Like, most people spend 3 days getting a snare drum sound.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, nah, we're not doing that. And it reminded me of that story I read, or heard, sorry, of Black Sabbath recording their second album. They were due to go on tour, and the record company could only afford 2 days or something in the studio. And they drove down from Birmingham to London, did it, all the songs in one day, Paranoid, War Pigs and all that. And then the next day they kind of like roughly mixed it. And then they had to leave because they were going on tour in Europe, so they had to catch the ferry. And they just left. And then they went on tour in Europe, and then they came back and they found like that album had like gone mental. But it only took them 2 days to do it. And it gets me back to that thing of like, it's like recording live. Recording layered has its perks. Recording, like, you know, you get the bass, you get the drums, you get this. But recording live, you've got to be on it. There isn't one space where you can be a bit like, oh, I can ease back a bit on this bit. Nope. And I really like that pressure to play, because it pushes you right to your limit.
There's one bit on one of the songs as well. I'm trying to think which one it is. What's it called? The one that's going to the road and die.
Oh, that cheery
That
little
one.
that Christmas single. You know, joy to all the suicidal people that I was at the time.
But when it goes into the shuffle
Me
bit,
and I, yeah.
Yeah, me and I, that was it. When it goes into the shuffle bit.
I love how that's how you remember the song. Which song is it? The Going to the Road and Die one. Yeah,
That's what it is.
And that is the lyrics.
Yeah, on the shuffle bit, there's one bit where me and Dave do a fill, and it's the exact same fill. It's like that.
Yeah.
And that wasn't planned at all. We were just so in tune that we just happened to play the exact same thing, and I didn't even realise until we'd listened back, and I was like, how did we just do that?
Well, there's quite a few of those moments on the albums though, where we all three of us did things like because the thing about the music, the trio music and the way we play is we don't really, nothing's ever set in stone. It's not like a case of like, you know, you have to play this the same way all the time. If you don't want to do that and you've got something else in mind, do that. So I can imagine like take 1 and 2 of the songs where we did that. Take 2 is like got loads of different bits that we didn't do in take 1. But it was like there was so many bits where it was like, it just was like that telekinesis thing that musicians have, where you just you're all locked in together in sync.
Yeah, like telepathic.
Yeah, and it just works, and it really did just work. And like you said, John, like we've been playing long enough by that time, we knew what we were doing.
That's the beauty of playing in a room together as well, is you feed off each other. I think that's missing from music nowadays. I don't want to go on a big rant, but nowadays, like whenever I record, for instance, I mean, especially over lockdown, I've recorded tons of like remote projects where I record the drums to click and a guide track, and then everyone puts the stuff over the top of it, and you hear it and it sounds great, but it doesn't have that same feel, the energy and the drive that you have with three musicians in a room, especially like half decent musicians who play well together. It makes such a big difference to the sound.
That album's actually a time capsule, because whenever you listen to it, it takes you. It literally, Ian captured the moment perfectly. Yeah. And then when you hear it back, it's like it all comes back to you, and I can remember what we were doing, even though at the time it was kind of that kind of thing where you're playing and not really conscious of what you're doing. But when I listen back, I'm like, oh yeah, and that happened at this time. But it's really, really cool. It was just great. It was just amazing, and again, it just worked. It just worked. It was the perfect. And the funny thing is, I've known Ian for a long, long time. I've known Ian since 2003, and I kind of lost contact with him a bit when I went to London. But when I came back from London, we kind of like reconnected and spoke. And I remember like talking to him about kind of like wanting to do an album and showing him like my demos and stuff like that. And he was like, "You're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready." And he just kept saying it. And it got to a point where I was kind of getting frustrated at him saying it, because Ian's one of those people who's been there, done it, and does know. And he knows better than we do. And he was like, "You're not ready." So I actually was like, no, he knows, you know, I'm not going to go against Ian. He knows what he's been there, done it, and he's amazing at what he does. So I was like, I'll go with it, even though it's really, it's frustrating me, because I wanted to record an album. And literally, I remember like, Queenie joined, and maybe it was like, ugh.
maybe not even a month before we did the album, maybe a couple of weeks before we actually went in and did the album, I had to ask Ian if he would record us, like if he would be producer and actually record us and just be there, to tell us what to do when we don't know what to do. And he walks his dog up where I live, my road, and I bumped into him and I said, and this was after the Priory gig video, so he had seen that, and I said to him, we really want to record an album. Would you be interested in it? He goes, yeah, you're ready. And literally that was it. He goes, yeah, you're ready now. And I was like, right, he knows. And he knew. And again, that's the thing, is Ian's got so much experience and knowledge that through just a YouTube video, he could watch it and go, yeah, they can do it. Then there's no worries here. And he had just total confidence, and it wasn't, and I'm happy to say it wasn't misplaced. Not even one bit.
No, it was great.
It's funny, I didn't clock how long I've been in the band at that point, because I joined at the end of April, and then it was what's the date? 28th of July today.
Yeah,
is that all it was?
Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah.
Crikey.
That's such a weird.
But when I said we've been playing together a lot, what's really cool is obviously me and you had played in bands before, and me and you always played amazing together. Just locked in.
I remember the first gig me and you did. It was just like.
What was that first gig?
What was that first gig?
It was a gig with a Functions band.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember which venue it was because there's a few we did in a short space of time. Yeah. But the band had kept mentioning getting John Joe in. I was like, oh okay. I don't know this drummer. I wonder if we'll get on over because I'm happy to play with anyone, but I don't necessarily always click with them. So I was a bit nervous about how things would go, and then as soon as John Joe turned up, you know when you meet someone and you're like instantly comfortable, which doesn't happen to me very often.
Mate, we've been busy since the first second, haven't we?
Rhythm section, love.
But yeah, and then as soon as we started playing, it was just
it was ridiculous. Yeah. We just clicked, and I took gigs with that band just so I could play with you.
I did the same.
Ages after, I was like, they'd say, "Oh, can you do this gig?" And I'd say, "Who's on bass?" And everyone calls her Cece at the time, so Cece's on bass. I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll do it, no worries." And they'd said other people, I was like, "Nah, sorry mate, I've already got it."
I did the same thing. And we'd message each other as well, like, "Oh, have you been asked about this gig?" "Yeah." "Oh, okay, I'll do it if you're doing it then."
Amazing.
Even now.
Even now, yeah.
And then obviously I've been playing with Dave a long time, and we did rehearse quite a bit, didn't we, before?
We did. Funny enough, I think it's the most we've ever rehearsed. Like I've played with John Joe since 2012.
That's crazy. Look how old we are.
I know.
I had hair. I was thin.
I had more hair as well. Yeah.
I've been playing 1 year.
Let's just put that in perspective. So me and John Joe started playing in the trio in 2012. And I had been playing by that time 10 years. So it means you've been playing 10 years.
Yeah, we've been the same.
So we've been playing 10 years. Queen had been playing...
What, 1 year?
And was?
12.
And we were in our late 20s.
I'm still not in my late 20s.
Yeah, I remember that year though, because it was great, because I could still carry a 412 around without making noises. Now it's like everything I pick up goes, ooh, and my body's kind of going, it's just hard work now. But yeah, we've been playing like since 2012, and like we've had some rare occasions.
Oh mate, this isn't the time. This isn't the time.
That's coming in another time. But yeah, we've been playing since then. And
I'll tell you what, I know this is about the album, but should you talk about the first rehearsal?
Oh yeah.
Have you talked about that yet?
Like, it was in this room as well.
What was the feelings for you two? Because for me, I was like, David said, because it was always Johnny on bass, wasn't he?
Yeah,
brother.
yeah.
And he couldn't play anymore, could he? Because of the...
He's got a kid.
Yeah.
He's kind of looking to take it a bit easier.
So you said to me, do you know any bass players? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because I'd just come back from France as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, do you know any bass players?
I was like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't sure if you'd want to do it. So like I was messaging, I was like, I play in this band, Dave Simpson Trio, this guy called Dave Simpson. Do you want to play bass for it? Because obviously I enjoy jamming with you, I enjoy playing with you. It'd be great to be in a proper band with you.
Mm.
And then luckily you were like, yeah.
Yeah.
So how did that work for you then?
So you sent Dave a video, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I sent Dave a video of you.
Yeah.
Did I send you a video of Dave?
No, but you
Okay.
had. I think you'd in the past posted a link.
Oh
with
yeah,
how
that
to
was
sing.
it.
But yeah, you saw that video and you're like, what was
Yeah,
your,
because
what was
you
your
were
response?
like,
I was
what are they
like-
like? And I sent, what video did I send?
She was playing Nobody Weird Like Me, Chili Pepper song.
Oh, okay,
Mad
okay.
slap, basically. And I remember saying, you pinned your message back something along the lines of like, no, she's too good, get somebody else. Because I'm forever thinking I'm worth it. You know? But yeah, I was like, she's way too good, I can't play with that.
I've had the same crisis.
Yeah.
So like as soon as that was happening, I was like, okay, all right, we've got a rehearsal in like a couple of weeks, and you'd sent me what was it? You didn't go easy on me. You said you deliberately sent me.
I sent you Voodoo Child, All on the Watchtower, and Killing Floor.
Yeah.
And I was like, learn them.
Yeah. You're like, throw me in the deep end.
Yeah, I wanted to see, like, because my brain pattern was, because me and John Joe have been playing together for so long, we can literally like read each other like anybody. You don't have to look at each other. But I just know what's going on, and it's amazing. And again, it's like that's a connection I've only ever had with John Joe up to that point. I was like, well, we've had other bass players in the trio, I've had other drummers in the trio, and I've been in other bands and whatever. But when John Joe joined the trio, I was like, oh my god, what is this? This is amazing. Don't swear, Dave. They're on YouTube. Anyway, people swear more on this on YouTube. It won't matter. People know all these words now anyway. It's not like it was when I grew up and I didn't even know swear words. Anyway, grew up in Yorkshire. Sean Bean style. But yeah, I've lost my train of thought. No. So anyway, but yeah, I just remember like that mad connection of like, because me and John Joe, we got dropped in it a few times, like pre-Queenie, and literally, like, I remember like we were doing Nottingham Beer Festival, and bass player at the time was like, I'm not doing it. Like, oh great! So we turned up to Nottingham Beer Festival as a two-piece, unrehearsed, didn't know what we were gonna do, and we had to play for an hour and a half to 400 absolutely out of their mind drunk people. And like I had like a massive panic attack, and I was like, I can't do it.
You had a proper meltdown on that day. That was one of the worst times I've ever seen you. I was there thinking, oh my god, it's gonna be like a solo drum show.
Yeah. Because it was mental. We had to like walk our gear
through the crowd.
It was
just too much at the time.
It was, and like it was just a really stressful day because what was going on, and we went and did it, and then basically that kind of like set a precedent for like the next like 3-4 years. I think we were just a two-piece.
Yeah.
Like most of the gigs we did, it was just me and John Joe. We went out and we just basically did like White Stripes.
Like a better looking White Stripes.
Indeed, yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I agree. Meg's got nothing on me. Jack's got nothing on John.
No, the fact we dressed up like him as well.
And people did find that a bit weird.
Yeah.
The fact we called ourselves the White Tights was a bit weird as well.
And the fact you recorded songs like them.
I know, I mean, we recorded songs like them, we looked like them. It's just getting a bit disturbing. Anyway, back to the first rehearsal. Yeah. So I didn't want you to. The idea was, I was like, because we've played together for, I want somebody who can just, we don't have to baby. Because my brain was going, if we have to baby her through it, I'm not interested, because I don't want to have somebody where I've got to go, right, well, we won't do that, we'll simplify it for you. I didn't want to do that, because me and John Joe, having done that two-piece for so many years, we used to like make songs last like 15 to 20 minutes, because we would just play off each other and just mess around and just stretch musically. So I wanted somebody who could just literally slot in and we could immediately go out and do a gig with, no issues, no fuss. So I was like, when Queenie was like coming into the band, I was like, right, well, chuck the book at her and see what happens. So we came into this room. She arrived, and I was like, I happened to mention, didn't I? I said, I didn't even tell her we tuned down to E flat. I didn't want to say it until the last second. It was like this mad psychological mind game that I'd made up. And literally, we got all set up, and I was like, oh, by the way, we play in E flat. And she goes, I know, I'm already in it. And I was like, that's a good sign. And I was like, what do you want to play? She was like, oh, anything. And I was like, okay, so what if I do this? And I started Voodoo Child, which we just go off on one. And it just can go on and on and on. And we tend to go into different songs. John Joe will do crazy things on the drums, I'll do crazy things on the guitar. And I was going to see if Queenie could keep up. And she just did. And I was like, okay. Okay, so let's do something else. Let's do Killing Floor next. Supersonic speed Killing Floor, Jimi Hendrix style. Kept up. On Watchtower, kept up. And then we started jamming your song, your solo song, and that was amazing. And I was like, and then you left, and it was over, and you went out, and I was just like thinking, that's it. We've found the bass player. Definitely.
Did I call you after? I think I called you, didn't I? See how
I think
it went?
yeah.
Yeah, we were buzzing, weren't we?
Yeah, it was amazing. And it really was. It was just one of those things. And then when we finally got to do that gig at the Priory, because that gig was initially cancelled because of like crazy COVID rules. Like we couldn't. We had another gig planned, but it was indoor, and then COVID rules came into effect. You couldn't do indoors, and I was like, I'm not doing this gig. So I immediately messaged my friend Paul at the Priory, and he said, yeah, come and play in the garden. And we did that gig, and it was just literally like amazing. And then we did another gig after that at the Flying Circus in Newark here, and it was like
that's one of the best gigs.
It was like transcendent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But
Yeah.
I remember that first rehearsal day. I turned up. I was like, oh God, I hope they like me. I hope I can do it. And I remember playing, and I'd been really prepared. I knew what tune they were in and everything. And it felt really good in the room, but the whole time I was thinking, I don't know if they like me. I don't know if I'm doing well enough, or if they actually want to play with me. And then as soon I left and I got in the car, and because I was, even before I turned up, I was extremely nervous. And I went back in the car after the rehearsal, and my mum was driving me. I was like, I really hope they like me, because that was amazing. And I said, because Mum already knew, obviously, John Joe's amazing, but I was like,
I just said, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realise what you were going to say. I knew John was amazing. Yeah, mate. Yeah. Carry on.
So Mum already knew that, but she didn't know Dave, so I got in the car, I was like, I really hope they want to play with me. Dave's amazing on guitar as well. Mum goes, oh, is he? That's nice. And I was like, no, Mum, you don't understand. No, he's really good. Yeah, that's really nice. Well, hopefully they liked you. And I was like, no, Mum, you don't understand. and then Mum went home and watched one of Dave's videos. She goes, he's really good. I was like, yeah, now I knew as soon as she saw Dave play that she would understand what I was on about, but it was just making me really laugh in the car because she just wasn't getting it. I was like, I don't rave about playing with people that often, and it's not very often. I'm like, I really, really hope they like me and they want to play with me. But yeah, I was terrified that day.
Yeah, I just remember as well. It was like our third rehearsal, because we did that one, then we did another one where we started to do the songs I wrote and our own songs, and then we did a rehearsal after that. And I had seen, I think I might have seen Ian that morning actually, and asked him to do an album. No, it can't be, because it was after the Priory gig. But I remember saying, I came in here and we were stood over there around the drum kit, and I said, do you want to do an album? And before I finished the word album, I think you'd both have gone, yeah.
I remember.
Do you want to do an Al? Yeah. Well, I could have said anything. Do you want to do an Al Murray? Must be really unfunny. Anyway.
For the record, he's a great drummer.
Is he? Amazing.
No.
Yeah.
I preferred him when he was in Harry Hill. It was funny. It was funny then. Big Brother Alan. Anyway. But yeah, back to the album. But yeah, the album was just amazing. But yeah, it just kind of went da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's just been wicked. And I say, in fact, it's been a year since we recorded it today. Like I say, this video is coming out 2 days later. It's coming out on the Saturday, and it was on the Thursday. That's today. That we finished recording. And yeah, we went to Cleethorpes. We finished, got the songs onto a phone, bezzed off to Cleethorpes, got fish and chips.
Bezzed off.
Bezzed off. Proper bez.
Oh, you're twisting me melon, man.
I'm not having all been different impressions.
I did that, but I don't know what that is. I should have got me right.
I've actually been backstage with Bez and can confirm that's exactly what he's like at all times.
Name drop.
No, it's definitely not.
You met loads of famous people.
No, I haven't met him. I just happened to be sharing a backstage.
Yeah, you
with
were
him.
the same gig.
Yeah.
But still cool though.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely amazing. I was remember to go to like Cleethorpes and we were all sat in the van, I was like blasting it out down Cleethorpes front, like looking out to see that rainbow, yeah, and it rained and there was a rainbow. It was just like, this is immense. And it was one of those kind of moments where you're like, it's like if you got to relive moments of your life, those 3 days would be like the days to
It's
relive.
incredible, absolutely incredible. Couldn't have gone any better.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's just one of those moments, like you hear about musicians when it all clicks. It happened for those 3 days. It was just perfect.
It was amazing. It never happened again after that.
Yeah, it's been crap ever since.
Yeah. We tried to rehearse tonight, but this is as far as we got setting up, and we just basically just thought, nah, it's not there anymore. No.
Do you know what? You know, on that recording, I was more nervous about meeting Ian and Ian liking me than all of the recording.
That's exactly how I felt as well.
Yeah, I was so nervous about meeting Ian because I know how much you respect him and how cool of a person he is, and like how much of a almost like an influential figure he is to you.
He's one of my heroes.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the best thing about this band is the music, but it's like the talking, isn't it? Like round your kitchen table, the hours that were spent just sat there. So I've learned all about Ian, but I've never met him. And then the first time meeting him, I was like, I'd better play good today, because if he says that drummer's not very good, because I'd heard that he could be blunt, and I'd heard he is like that, isn't he? Like I can imagine. So I was like, oh God, I hope he likes me. I hope I make a good impression.
He was
so nervous.
He was so impressed with the way John Joe and Queenie played. Yeah, I remember him turning around at one point because Ian was kind of like facing the computer like this, and we were doing the Steeler, and Queenie in that song, if you listen to the Steeler, literally just like pulling the strings off the bass. It's like absolutely like a raved out. And Ian was just kind of sat on the computer and he was like, "Yeah, that was really good. How do you play the bass like that? How do you do it like?"
And there was one point he thought I was using a pick. He turned around and
Yeah.
goes, "How are you doing that with your fingers?"
And he gets it 'cause he's such a good musician himself.
Yeah.
He knows when something amazing's happening. I don't want to talk for him, but I'm sure it was great for him as well. It was good,
He
good for him
loved
as it was for us.
Well, he ended up showing it, like, the album to, like, all his friends and stuff. He
Really?
was, like, just throwing it around, like, you've got to listen, you've got to listen, you've got to listen. And I'm so proud of it, and I'm so happy Ian did it. There was literally nobody else I wanted to do that album with. It was Ian, or we were going to do it on our own. Because I've known Ian for so long, and he's just been, like, just that voice of inspiration to me and stuff like that. He just knew I knew he knew what to do, and I knew if we ever got down, he would pick us back up, and he would know if it was right or wrong. And literally, it was his idea to not use a click. I remember him saying, "You don't need it."
I'm so
just
glad
do
that
it.
we didn't as well.
Yeah,
Glad we did. Everything he said was right.
He did. Yeah, and again, Ian's been there, done it, got the T-shirt, and again, I think another thing as well, the fact I introduced him as a guy who's been on tour with like Bryan Adams and Meatloaf and Europe and that, and he's toured the world, and like he's been there, done it. It doesn't help when you've never met somebody like that to know that they've been, Ian recording in like Pete Townshend's personal studio in London,
and you've just joined the band.
Yeah. But it was. I knew Ian would do it. He would get the sound. He would get it nailed. And no kidding, did he? It was literally perfect.
Yeah.
And it was just literally one of those things where it was just everything just worked. Nothing went wrong. And again, literally, we were playing probably this close to each other as well. And everyone was just crammed in. It was just this room is like luxurious compared to where we were. It was so tiny in Ian's room, but it was. But I think that's the point.
Yeah, it needed to be that.
Yeah, it needed to be like really intimate and close, and again 3 days, and it reminds me of like all these bands like like Black Sabbath, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Rory Gallagher, Fleetwood Mac, Peter Green, when they recorded these songs like Voodoo Child or Albatross or Rock and Roll, Heartbreak or whatever. That was all done live. There was, because they were recording either to a 4-track and then later on an 8-track where they had to bounce the 4 down. And then if you started to bounce more than that, it would start to degrade the tape that much that you would lose bits of your song. And it's like you had to be on it. And again, I think, like you say, I think that's missing. Like the grid rock thing's really cool. I mean, I do like recording to a click and making it all nice and lined up. But there is something to be said for the magic that happens when you get people in a room playing together and feeding off each other and capturing that moment. Because you listen to Black Dog and there's mistakes in it. You listen to beginning of Black Knight by Deep Purple and you can hear Ian Pace hit himself in the ribs with his stick and he goes, ooh! And you hear like Satisfaction, and Keith Richards trying desperately to turn the fuzz pedal on because it won't turn on because it's a pile of crap, and he's like, come on! And then he just kicks in halfway through the riff, and it's just like that's magic. And I always come back to what Eddie Kramer, Jimi Hendrix's producer and Led Zeppelin's producer and everyone else's producer, says. He says people always ask me, what do I do to make myself sound as good as Led Zeppelin or Jimi Hendrix in the studio or Deep Purple? He said, what do I do? And he says the same thing every time. Leave the mistakes in. Leave the mistakes in, because you're a human being. You ain't a robot. You know, it's cool. Grid rock is cool. I love like Devin Townsend, who is literally grid rock, and like some of the other stuff that's like just literally it sticks. But I didn't grow up listening to that stuff. I grew up listening to punk, and then obviously later on I started listening to kind of like Jimi Hendrix and then Rory Gallagher and Peter Green, and that stuff is just wild. And you know, Alice in Chains, Man in the Box, like the first verse is at a certain BPM, and then the chorus gets faster, and then to get back when it goes back into the verse, it drops 6 beats per minute.
Yeah.
And come back down, and it's like that's it. It's all about movement.
Yeah, it breathes.
It breathes. Yeah, that's exactly it.
I love the push and pull of music, even live. I like pushing tempos. I hate like when you to click, it's fine. It's easy. Like I do loads of gigs to click, and it's fine. But why? Who made the rule that music has to be perfectly set at one tempo?
Yeah, and it
It
shouldn't
defeats
be.
the object. Classical music wasn't like that.
No.
Yeah.
Musicals aren't like that. If you're following like a conductor in an orchestra, like I do sometimes, it pushes and pulls all over the place, and that's part of the magic of music. It's not set at one tempo. I mean, I know nowadays people do it where the clicks even move to try and make it feel.
I know, yeah. It's still
crazy. It's crazy,
Yeah.
but
What's
yeah,
the
like
point
this.
of doing that? Why not just do it in that case?
Well, it's
It's
just
just
people's
'cause
in a
it's-
meter isn't.
Yeah, and
involved.
it just means that you would do the same thing every time, but people get comfortable with it.
But yeah, I love it. I love it when things fluctuate.
Push
Like,
and pulls.
there is far too much emphasis put on things being perfect in time in this day and age, and I think it needs to stop personally. And again, I don't like it when people say, "Oh, that blues rock song was all over the place tempo-wise." It's supposed to be. It's blues rock. It's not supposed to be grid rock. It doesn't need to be perfect. It wants to be all over the place because that's what it is. It's rock and roll, man.
There's too much perfection in the world. Dave.
There is. Yeah.
There's too much perfection.
I'll leave then.
Yeah, get out. That nearly got me right in the face. Anyway, I think we'll start to wind this up now, because how long have we been yakking for? Oh, not as long as I thought, actually. No, we don't have to.
How long?
43 minutes.
Oh.
What's the time then?
43 minutes on this point.
No, I mean, like, what's the time limit? Where you say
There-
we don't need to wrap it up.
No, we don't need to. Not.
What, 43 minutes is a short video?
Is for me.
Bloody hell.
None of this 38-second crap.
I know, that's what I do.
No, I don't do the shorts. We do the longs. See, I'm never in shorts. I'm
I do
always
the
in the longs.
shorts.
Yeah, John
Always
does
in
the
shorts.
I'm
Yeah,
in the wides.
in the wides. I'm in the longs. But yeah,
Together we're harmony.
Together we're long, short and wide. Guess which one's which?
this is going downhill now. Get back on track now. But yeah, it's amazing. And
I feel like we haven't talked about
yeah.
loads of stuff. We
But
don't
we're
miss
doing-
loads out. I don't know.
But again, yeah, if you want to see more of these kind of videos of the trio talks,
Trio.
trio talks with us, let us know. We'll do more videos.
I want to say about the album as well.
What?
I want to say about the album as well, the mix on it. It's the first album I've ever heard where even if you listen to it on your phone or a laptop with a crap tinny speaker, you can still hear the bass and you can still hear all the kick
Why?
drum
Can you
and
not normally
everything.
hear the bass?
I can never hear the
Turn
bass.
the bass.
Can't hear the bass.
Can't hear the bass.
You need to sort your tone
I
out.
know. Yeah, I'm going to sort my tone out. Because of you who commented, you loser. I don't care about my tone. I care about my tone less than you do. How about that?
Do you think I don't care? I'll show you how I don't care.
Yeah. Next time, I'm not even going to use a snare drum. I'm going to use a tea bag. I don't know. When I put tea bags on my snare and then see what that sounds like. And then you can comment on your little YouTube thing. Saying about my tone. Dissing my tone. I know you think you are, mate.
Tone talk, John Dreamcast.
Tone deaf. My tone's stellar, thank you. I spent years crafting my sound.
And it was going so well.
I don't even read the comments. I don't care. I don't even read the comments. I don't even go on YouTube. I haven't even got the internet.
Like, you haven't even got a camera.
Sorry, Dave. This ain't going out to many people, is it? Yeah.
Am I going to have to edit that bit?
No, leave it in. Tone. This is my tone.
But that's
If they can't handle it, they shouldn't say
You
it.
can't handle my
But
tone.
there is
Comment.
actually a point there. Tone, like everything else, is subjective. If you don't like somebody's tone, I've had loads of people say they don't like my guitar tone. Tough. I don't care if you don't like it. I do. I love it. I like it that way. If you don't, that's your problem. I'm not about to make it mine or compromise because you don't like it and you would add more trouble when I don't want it. And that is a good point. There's plenty of guitar tones I don't like. There's plenty of bass tones out there. Plenty of drummers out there I don't like the sound of their drums and stuff like that. But the fact is, it's all down to what you want at the end of the day. It's not down to, oh, well, I wouldn't have done it that way. Well, it's not you doing it. Of course you wouldn't do it that way. You know, I don't like when people start to micromanage your tone, or I wouldn't play that guitar, or I wouldn't use those. I remember this one guy had a massive fit at me once over using gauge 9 strings on a Gibson scale guitar. Because I don't like 10s on a Gibson, I like 9s on a Gibson because 10s feel weird. So I use 9s. And this guy had a massive go at me. This was literally like 2014, 2015. He had a huge go at me. It hasn't affected me at all.
I didn't even remember it.
I didn't remember it, yeah. But he had a massive go, mate. I say, because I use 10s on a Strat, 9s on a Gibson. He goes, you're doing it the wrong way round, aren't you? Like, you're doing it all wrong. It should be 10s on the Gibson, it should be 11s, really, and 9s on a Strat, or blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, no, it should be what I want it to be. They're my guitars. And it's like, if you don't like the sound of it, that's not really your place to comment. Like, I've done plenty of gigs with people where they've come up to me and they said, I don't like your guitar tone. Or some people have said to me, like, well, what do you think to this? And I'm like, well, to be perfectly honest, I don't really like it. And I think that's the point, is like, you've got to be honest to yourself. So have somebody come along and say, well, I don't like that, and then almost demand of you to do what they want of you. I don't like that, so you should change it because I said so. It's just totally balmy. It's like, I don't like that, so you should change it. No. We were recording, weren't we? We recorded demos for your album.
Oh, yeah.
And Queenie wanted me to play guitar on one song of her album. And I got my sound. I was using an orange Rockaverb amp, and I got the pedal board set and I started playing, and this producer goes, it's a bit dark in it, your guitar tone, it's a bit dark.
Is that how we're doing it?
Is that how we're doing it? And I went, yeah. Because I was like, yeah, that's how we're doing it. That's my sound. If you don't like it, don't do it. Don't record. Kick me out of your studio. I don't care. If you don't like it, that's not my problem. It's like when people try and have a go at you for something, and they try to put you down over something that you're not really don't really care about, but they think you should care about it. Some weird thing, and it's like, well, why would you make somebody else's problem about you when it's not a problem to you, your problem?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like, why go, if somebody comes along and says, I don't like Strats, or I don't like Gretsch drums, I don't like Schecter basses, you're not going to turn around and go, okay, I'll never play them again, I'm sorry. You're not going to do that. You're just going to go,
I used to get it.
Works for me, mate.
I used to get it when I was younger, because I like comfy clothes, and a lot of the time when I was a kid I would wear boys' clothes or boys' shoes, like these trainers, and I used to get kids come past and go, why are you wearing boys' trainers? Are those boys' trainers? I'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, okay. Because as soon as you just go, yeah, or because I want to. They just kind of, they don't know what to say.
But it is true. It is true. Yeah, you take the power, you take like the wind out of the sails.
Yeah.
Like the moment you're like, it's what I want. It's not what you want. It's like I've been fired from bands for using solid state amps and Stratocasters and stuff like that. And it's like, well, why should I? Like, because they wanted me to use a valve amp, which I don't want to use, and a Les Paul, which I don't want to use. Why should I have to make myself uncomfortable just to soothe somebody else's ego? It's not. That's not what music is. You know, music isn't about. It's about expression of you in yourself, and then in a band, a collective. And you should be all pulling in the same direction instead of just kind of going, well, I don't think you should use this anymore. Because the way the trio works in that way is because I do what I do, Queen does what she does, and John Doe does what he does. And because we do our jobs without trying to micromanage anybody else's, it works.
It's the most free band that I've ever played with, where I can literally do what I want. I could turn up with just a bass drum and a snare drum. And David would be like, brilliant, this is going to be funny.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be different. Cheers, mate, thank you.
Yeah, it's just a shame Dave's a dictator.
Yeah, oh God, all he does is just dictate all the time.
Constantly telling them what to do.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not.
I've been kicked out of bands for being too good looking.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
I think you are really nice looking.
I
don't you think John has got
He
like he's got the happiest face?
Yeah, like the
it's
kindest
eyes.
eyes.
Yeah. He's like
Thank you.
we're avid viewers of John Joe's YouTube channel.
Just gets passed around.
Yeah, just passing the tenner around. Me and Queenie we're avid viewers of like John Joe's YouTube channel, and literally when like You shouldn't be. You should be subscribed to John Joe Gaskin's YouTube channel.
Don't bother.
Link in the description box below. Go now.
Don't bother, because I want to give it up.
You can't let him give it up.
Watch.
You've got to subscribe now. We've got to keep him in it.
I'm
Make
sick
him
of
continue.
it. I'm sick of it. I'm giving it up. Don't subscribe.
But that's the thing. Is like we keep saying it when we're at Queenie's house, because we feel all very kind of like connected, like on that really high level. Like when I'm at Queenie's house and like because we're miles away from here, it's like we do feel like there's a part of us missing. It's
weird.
really
It's really
strange.
weird. And I watch you two all the time. And then I'm like, I get in the bath and I think, I just have to send them a picture.
Yeah, that happens quite a lot. Do you want to see one?
John Joe's bath pictures.
I'm going to flash one up here. Fight Club.
Don't, 'cause I'm a teacher.
Like a split second.
Please don't. Please don't.
I know, I'm not going.
I'm a professional, but I do genuinely send them a picture when I'm in the bath. I message him and I say, sorry mate, I can't do the gig on Sunday. And he always seriously says, why, is everything okay? And I thought, shark. Just sent him a picture of it in the bath.
Because, by the way, if you didn't know, John Joe played the Meg in the Meg with Jason Statham. John Joe is the Megalodon in that one.
Exactly.
So, yeah, he knows Jason Statham. Yeah, he's
By the way, I just want to say,
yeah.
that was brilliant. Like being in the middle of a Dave rant. It's like being in the eye of a storm, like in the tornado. You know, like Twister when it's running at you, and you just like I'm just watching it in awe, and it's like I'm sat at home with my iPad, and I'm like, brilliant. It's on a rant again. This is great. And I was here live and in person while it was happening. It was great.
Don't believe the hype. But no, I mean, I do get tired of that though. I get tired of the micromanaging of trolls.
There's too many
especially.
rules.
Yeah.
There's too many rules.
Yeah, and there aren't
You
any
can't do this,
rules.
you can't do that. You do what you like.
Yeah. If you want to
You
play the
like.
guitar standing on your head covered in jelly, you can.
If
Yeah.
I
Believe it or
want
not.
to play my bass with distortion up in the dusty end of the fretboard, then I will.
That's Queenie had a
And
comment
if I want to play my
recently.
drums naked,
Then
We
you
hope
will.
he will.
then who cares? Troll me.
But that is the thing. It's like don't micromanage somebody else's stuff. Yeah. It's like you wouldn't go to a Steve Vai gig where you walk up to Steve and go, Steve, I don't like the way you sound. You're gonna get kicked in the face. We're not kicked in the face, but we get gem in the eye. But like you get Gemini.
Ah.
Like his pedal. Thank you. I'm here all evening. But no, I mean that is the thing. It's like if it doesn't work for you, that's fine. But it's not yours. It's like the whole relicking guitar thing. I don't like relic guitars. Do you own any relic guitars? No, I don't, because I don't like them. Right, well, I do. Well, I don't. Well, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, they're not your guitar. If I come round to your house and I start relicking your pristine guitars, then we might have problems. But because I like it and you don't, doesn't mean that I shouldn't do it.
Do you know what I'm sick of hearing as well? Is using "I'm old, so" as an excuse to micromanage people. Like, I get that you're older than I am, but why does that matter?
But
How my tone sounds to you? It doesn't.
I'm
I don't-
definitely going to start using that now. I'm old, so...
Yeah, I'm old, so you should stop using Schecter basses. I don't like them.
That's it.
Even
though.
though that's the best bass I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
But you shouldn't use it. Should be Fender Jazz from now on, or nothing at all.
and you know better because you're old.
But I know what you mean. But it's not about that. It's about knowing yourself and knowing what you want. And if you know what you want and you know and you sound the way you want to sound and you look the way you want to look and whatever, anybody who has got a problem with that's their problem and it's not yours. So why make it? It's like, oh god, this person who I don't know, who lives about 6 million miles away from me, doesn't like my guitar tone. What should I do? Nothing. Carry on.
I think the best place to be as a musician, I mean, I don't want to sound cocky, but I've been doing it a while, and you get used to your own sound. Like, you know what you like. You know, you spent years crafting your sound and practicing. Like, I practice so much to sound how I sound.
Yeah.
So if somebody doesn't like it, it's not my problem if they don't like it.
No.
Who cares?
No.
As long as my bandmates like it and my peers like it, that's all that matters, really. And as long as I'm happy in how I'm playing,
Yeah.
that's all that should matter, isn't it?
Well, that's how the bands used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people didn't like Black Sabbath when they came out? How many people didn't like Jimi Hendrix? I remember people saying like, Jimi Hendrix was bloody awful and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And like, I don't like this band because they sound like that. I don't like this band. It's like, well, don't listen then. Go and listen to something you do like. It's not hard to. It's easier in this day and age than it ever has been to just go and listen to something you like. If you don't like this, fine. That's fine. You're welcome to not like it, and you're welcome to your opinion, and this, that, and the other. But it doesn't mean that people should pander to you just because. You're not. No one should have that much sway and that much kind of thing on other people. You do what you want to do, and you do what you want. I say it a million times on this channel, like, what guitar should I buy? The one you want.
Yeah.
What do I want to? I want to sound like this, sound like that. Because I get a lot of people saying like, oh, your obsession with John Frusciante is creepy. I don't care. That man inspired me to play the guitar, and he inspires me every day and has done for 20 years. Why would I all of a sudden go, yeah, I'm not going to listen to him anymore? It's mental. It's like,
You're not even that obsessed, though, really.
well, no. I mean, he's a hero.
Yeah.
It's like he's that guy who, but it is what it is. But like, if you don't like it, that's literally your problem. I can't do anything about that. I can't change what I love just to make you happy, and I shouldn't ever have to do that because there is no point in it, because then it's just sacrificing me, and then what's the point in me? If I'm not going to be who I am, what the hell am I doing here? And that brings me quite neatly back to the album slightly.
Oh, was we having a chat about the album?
Believe it or not, this video was supposed to be about the album, and it's gone here.
It's gone haywire.
It's gone a bit mental, but
You shouldn't have mentioned my tone there.
I quite like it. I quite like it because it is that thing. But it kind of brings me back down to the album of people saying like, people, quite a few people have commented before on my lyrics and my voice in the trio. A lot of people don't like my voice, and a lot of people don't like my lyrics. A lot of people have said in the past, oh, your lyrics are too dark. Again, go into the road and die. Of course they're dark. They're about things that happened to me when I was suicidal or depressed, or I was sat with a gun in my mouth at 2 a.m. because I didn't want to live anymore, or driving down the wrong side of a road one night because smashing into a truck was better than breathing. Of course these songs are not going to be happy. They're about that. But the fact is, if you can talk about it and you can make something really good from it, then it kind of frees you from that. And again, the voice thing. If you don't like my voice, I can't do anything about that. It is my voice. And at the end of the day, no one can sing my songs like I can sing my songs because they weren't there. They can't sing Me and I. They weren't there. They didn't experience that. They can't sing The Stealer. They don't know who it's about. They can't sing Who the Hell or Talk to Me. They weren't there. They might have their own experiences, other singers who come in, but they're not me. And I sing because that's what this music requires. And again, we're a 3-piece. We're not a 4-piece, and we're never going to be a 4-piece. You know, and if you don't like the voice, I can't do anything about that. It is my voice. Again, if you don't like it, go and listen to Coldplay. I can't.
You always say Coldplay.
I always say Coldplay.
I'm going to see Coldplay. Wembley in a couple of weeks.
But it is. I mean,
Yeah.
But it is. I can't do anything about it. I mean, I remember when Muse came out, everyone hated Matt Bellamy's voice. I remember when White Stripes came out, everyone hated Jack White's voice. You know, and I'm pretty sure when Robert Plant started screaming, or Ian Gillan started screaming, or Ozzy Osbourne was singing, there was people going, "Ugh, that's a rubbish voice." Is it?
Well, people are used to hearing a certain thing, and when something
Especially
doesn't, when something doesn't sound like that, they think they don't like it because they're not used to hearing it. But all of a sudden, things that everyone hated suddenly become the norm, and then they think, "Oh, yeah, I like that," because it's suddenly normal.
I mean, yes, I don't sound like Ronnie James Dio or anybody like that, but the fact is, at least I sing and I mean it, which is better than getting a singer in here who just wants to preen around and not mean it. You know what I mean? I don't want somebody walking around in front of us while we're playing Me and I, giving it the big un, when it's not about that. You know, this song's dark. It's about me wanting to just jump in front of a car because I don't want to live anymore. You can't have somebody walking around like Robert Plant going, "Judy, Judy, Judy!" You know, "Go on the road and die!" You know, it doesn't work.
Poor Judy.
Poor old Judy.
Sorry, Judy.
I don't know why Robert Plant said that. He always just said, "Judy, Judy, Judy!" Anyway. But that is it. You know, but again, that is the point. You know, we are what we are. We're a blues rock band, and we sound the way we sound, and we're heavier than most blues rock bands because we don't want to sound like every shuffle blues band around the place. I didn't want to. I remember saying to John Joe and Queen, it's like, you know, I wanted to be able to palm mute an E chord and E flat with mass distortion while playing a blues riff. You know, and we do that. And Me and I is a blues. It's a 12-bar blues. Technically, it's a 24, but then there is bits of 12. It kind of flips between. But and then there's other songs like Know My Name. It's really dark. And then there's It Was You, which is like the ultimate dark song known to mankind. But that's the thing. Yeah, you've got to mean it. Yeah. Anyway.
The next album will be really happy. It'll all be fries and smiles.
Go into the road and drive.
Shut up and drive. No, it's copyright.
Yeah. I am alright.
I am alright. And I'm alright with me.
Do you know what? You have come a long way though, Dave. Like in the time I've known you, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, John Joe's seen me at some very low ends. Very low ends.
I'll tell you what, that's another interesting thing. After the first rehearsal, when we all got together, we all had like a massive talk about mental health and stuff, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was really strange.
Yeah.
That you were the first person I met ever that experiences derealisation. Like, I thought I was going mental, and then all of a sudden I met Dave, and it was like, oh, that's an actual thing.
Yeah, that's a real thing. That happens.
Yeah.
Derealisation. Derealisation's horrific as well. For anybody out there, I'm sure there's some people who have experienced it. It's atrocious.
Yeah, it's a trauma response, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's basically, your brain can't take the amount of abuse or trauma it's going through, so it just basically goes, you're on your own.
Yeah.
And it shuts down, but you don't.
You're not real, and none of this is real, and the world isn't real, and I'm gone, but sadly you still have to be here.
Yeah.
So.
And the weird thing about derealisation as well is you're numb. You can punch yourself square in the face. Trust me, I did. And you don't actually feel it. I ran into a door once to try and make myself feel something. Full pelt. And you don't feel it. You're totally numbed.
everything can look really weird as well. Like stuff like the sizes of things looked all off to me. And I remember when it got to summertime and the sun was coming out, everything looked really garish. Like, you know, if you turn the exposure up really high and you get all lines around everything like a cartoon, but it's like really disgusting looking. That's what the world looked like to me, and it looked really unreal. And I just like,
yeah, because we've all been there. We've all had like major like mental health problems, and I don't know really any musicians who don't have that, because being a musician is not. It's not what I would call fun most of the time. You are at the butt end of everything most of the time. You are getting ridiculed for either the way you sound, the way you look, the way you do things, because it doesn't meet a certain criteria that isn't even a thing, and just the stresses of it, the stress and strains, like to push yourself to the limits and let's go. No, I'm doing this. You lose a lot. Being a musician, you lose a lot. You don't really have much of a life outside of music, and you either love that or you hate that. And if you hate it, you invariably kind of give it up eventually. But in my experience of the people who have given it up around me, they don't want to dedicate themselves totally to it and go, this is what I do, and nothing's going to stop that. Nothing's going to get in the way of that. But it's like what Lemmy said. You'll lose everything if you become a musician. Yeah, but that's rock and roll, isn't it? You can't sing the blues if you ain't got the blues, man. But that's where it comes from. It really is. But again, we've all been there. We've all had horrible times. We've all had good times, and it is literally music that gives all the good times.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it is amazing.
I just thought it was really cool how open we all were. We all just sat on the floor, weren't we? And then we went outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it was cool. So, going to wind it up now. So, thank you very much for watching this kind of... It turned into all sorts of... It was supposed to be about the album initially, but it's kind of gone from that to loads of other things, including mental health, which I'm always happy to talk about, because that needs to be spoken about. And also, people micromanaging your life. Remember, you're the only person that matters when it comes down to anything. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. It is literally like, oh, I want to buy a Les Paul, but my friend said I should buy a Telecaster. I'll go and buy a Telecaster. No, you go and buy what you want to buy. Yeah. You play what you want to play. You sound like you want to sound. You look how you want to look, and no one can tell you otherwise. You just have to have that strength to do it, and sometimes that's hard. But everyone can do it.
And you can like what you want to like as
exactly,
well.
Yeah.
Your taste might change. Like, as you get older and stuff, things do get different, don't they? What you're into in that.
Yeah, indeed. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Link to the album is in the description box below, as well as links to these two's YouTube channels and other things where you can find them. And that's it. Go on and listen to the album, see what you reckon, and enjoy. 12 songs of mass blues rock craziness recorded in 3 days, mixed, mastered, overdubbed, done, outdoor. Proper job. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye now. Everybody wave. Keep waving. They're not uncomfortable enough yet. Keep waving.
Oh God, you're staring right at the camera as well. Have I got to stare? Oh God, you both are. I'm going to do the same. Still going.
Don't stop. I'll fire you. If
See, this is what happens. Dave tells us what to do and we just do it as dictator.
Yes. Keep going. I'll tell you when it's safe.
Oh, mate.
You can stop now.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Good.